Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 343. My hair is sticking up in the back a bit. Andrew here, and I thought I could film my Trails from Zero video before the podcast, and I would have done it too if it weren't for the neighboring meddling kids. The video's, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes long. I was like, okay, I've got half an hour, I can go through it, I can do this, and then I can edit it tonight, have it available in the morning, and so everyone can watch it before we start in on Trails to Azure. 4 minutes into the video, it's going well, I'm not flubbing my dialogue, I think I'm doing pretty well, I haven't seen the playback yet, but then there's a knock at my door. It's my neighbor with the one with the big dog Poseidon, and she and her roommate, I guess, they found a pair of sunglasses outside somewhere, and apparently they're going door to door to see if they could find the owner. Which good luck with that. It's really thoughtful. They were not my sunglasses, by the way. I thought, oh man, I really. You've got like 10 minutes to podcast. I don't want to, and I don't know if I have time to start this recording over from the beginning. Screw it. I'll do a crossfade or something, or a hard cut. No one cares. It's not that big a deal, although I think the knock on the door overlaps part of my delivered dialogue, so I can't really cut that out. So I continue on from where I left off, and my phone rings. And my phone was, over on the other side of the room, so it wasn't like I could just quiet it real quickly. No, it would have kept ringing. No. So, unless the take is completely unusable, expect to see two really obvious cuts in the middle. That's the way it goes sometimes. Maybe they wanted an excuse to pop in on me. I don't know. Lee, hello. And MX, hello. So, hey, we've got our first donation for the Extra Life charity event. So we've raised $151 so far, which is very cool because we're still a month out. And that actually means a couple of things. Number one, it means so the Super Mario Maker 2 thing that we do every year, mixing it up a little bit. So if the amount of money you donate is even, then let me back up. Brian curated a bunch of Super Mario Maker 2 levels for me. Some of them are pleasant. Some of them are painful. And your donations vote on which I play. So, if your donation totals an even amount, you're voting for pleasant, and if it totals an odd amount, you're voting for painful. Well, so far, painful is winning. So it'll be fun. Also, this year I'm doing something else. I haven't announced the main game I'm playing yet, but what I'm going to do is I bought a little handheld tally counter. So every time something specific happens in the main game I'll be playing during the charity event, I will donate 5 cents. Every time the thing happens, I will donate 5 cents. And for every $100 we raise, I'll donate an additional 5 cents. So we've raised 151, which means 10 cents per thing. And if we raise, 3,000, I think it ends up being like $1.55 per thing. So that might add up. So that'll be fun. MX went to the mall, and malls exist. Yeah. Got some new Jordans. Cool. Alright, so look forward to that. I will announce the main game we'll be playing on the almost said Sunday stream. No, the charity marathon sometime after the completely arbitrary date of October 20th. Why? Why that arbitrary day? I wonder. So, I work from home. And I was in a Zoom meeting. This was yesterday, Friday. And this was our final My Team's stand-up of the week, where we recap everything that went on, look to the future, what we've got coming up, and we, go around the room and let everyone know what the heck UC pays us for. Just what we've been doing that week. So, we're going around the room. And it's like, okay, Versha, what are you doing? And suddenly I notice that my mouse died. And it's a wireless mouse. It takes batteries. Which means I couldn't move the mouse over to the Zoom window to unmute myself when my turn came around. Now you might be thinking, just hold the space bar or hit, I think it's Alt-A. Good call. Except the focus wasn't on the Zoom window because I was working on something else on my other monitor when my mouse died. So I frantically run over. I have the desk I'm sitting at here, the top drawer. Luckily I have spare batteries, so I ran over here, grabbed batteries, and tried to get the batteries in my mouse before my turn comes up. And they're like, Andrew, hello, you're on mute. That thing. I also, pre-typed a quick text to my boss saying, like, mouse is out of batteries, can't unmute. Be with you in a minute, just in case they got to me before I could get the batteries replaced. Unfortunately, it happened that I was the last person called on to talk about my week, so I managed to get my mouse batteries replaced. You know what, Chicago? That's a good idea. I may have been able to Alt-Tab to the Zoom window and then use the space and Alt-A controls to unmute. Good call. Didn't think of that. That's what happens when you get flustered, I guess. But it turned out all right. It's not like if I didn't answer, I was going to get fired or anything. So, I've talked in the past about the laundry situation here at my apartment complex. This apartment complex is fairly unique, I think, in the fact that it exists on both sides of a residential street. Most of the buildings of this complex are on the other side of the street, which is also where the leasing office is, and where the pool is, and the gym, and all the other, it's hardly a gym, it's an exercise room. And then the other just remaining 3 or 4 buildings, however they're counted, are over here. Once upon a time, there were 3 laundry rooms. There was one main one in the center courtyard in the buildings, in the center of the buildings across the street. There was one in the space behind the leasing office, and there was one over here. For these buildings. So we didn't have to trudge across the street to go do our laundry. Lee says, you need a mouse you can hook up to PCs if it dies. Yeah, the one I use for my main personal PC is wired, so I don't have to worry about it. The one that over there, my work setup, I just use the mouse that I was provided, and it's a wireless mouse, and it runs on batteries. There's no way to plug it into anything. I mean, I could always just go buy another mouse, but I've been working for UC for like 14 months or something like that, and it's only been a problem this one time, so, yeah. Is there a skyway connecting them? No, there is not. It's not that huge of a complex. I think there's definitely bigger. I think it's like 135 units all told. It's larger. But it's split. I can't think of another apartment complex that's split across it's split across a street. But anyway, I live on one side of the street. And a year ago or so, well, actually, 2 years ago, in the recent past, a property management company purchased this apartment complex. And they own like 25 apartment complexes in San Diego. And they jacked up the rent, and they started renovating apartments. As soon as people move out, they renovate them so that they can sell them for nearly $1,000 more. Yeah. And these new renovated apartments have washers and dryers in them. So they got rid of the laundry room behind the leasing office and turned it into an exercise room. And they decommissioned the laundry room over here on this side of the street. So if you do not live in one of the renovated apartments, like moi, then you have to walk across the street to the center courtyard where that laundry room is and hope there's an available and working laundry machine. And because they're interested in renovating all the apartments so that they can charge more for them. And since at this point I think 60% of the units have washers and dryers in them now, they're less inclined to keep the community washer and dryers working. So this week I trudged across the street, and I use there are two different styles of washer there. One is the put 1 quarter in at a time until you've put enough quarters in to turn it on. The other is that sliding tray thing where you have to put all 7. It's $1.75, so you have to put 7 quarters in the tray and then push the whole thing at once to activate it. I prefer not to use those. I don't trust them. But the 2 single coin at a time ones, which actually came from the laundry room that used to be over here. Well, it's still over here. It's just there's no laundry machines in it, and the door's locked. One of them was in use, and the other was out of order. Which left those are the ones on the outer side, which left the other 4. Well, one of them had the the cord that plugs into the wall was unplugged and laying over the top of the machine with a sign that says does not work. So I loaded my quarters in one of the other machines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pushed it in, and nothing. No lights, no nothing. So I went to the next one. 1 quarter, 2 quarter, all the way to 7 quarters. Push in, nothing. No lights, no nothing. Yeah, I checked to make sure they were plugged in. Went to the third one. 1 quarter, 2. Actually had to go back to my apartment to get more quarters. Then I had to walk back. 1 quarter, 2 quarter, all the way to 7 quarters. Push in. Lights come on. The basin does not fill with water. Did I check the hoses? Yeah, they were on. The lights turn on, but the cycle doesn't actually activate. The basin doesn't fill with water. The agitator doesn't agitate. It's nothing. So that was 21 quarters. That's what, $5 at a quarter? Yeah. Now I went to the leasing office later in the week and got replacement quarters, but yeah. So there's 1 laundry room left and 1 working washer. Now you might say, well, you just look at the time. It's got 10 more, and you just come back in 20 minutes. Yeah, there's no guarantee that whoever put their laundry in is watching the clock and will be back to unload. So it's kind of a crapshoot. But eventually, I did go back and use the remaining good washer and wash my clothes. And so I had a chat with my landlord a couple days ago. Lindy, hello. Oh, we're also, speaking Extra Life and Lindy, we're also doing that thing where every $50 you donate enters you in a raffle to commission Lindy to draw a character portrait for you. So, she good at drawing, so that's definitely a desirable perk. So, donate for the children and art. So I spoke to my landlord, and because this whole place is controlled by a property management company, I'm the last to know anything. As a tenant, I'm the last to know. Sadly, our landlord is second to last to know. So, you know, as Tom, like, yeah, all the laundry machines are broken, but he doesn't have the ability to do anything about it. But he also told me that, yeah, they're going to raise rent at some point, again. And at some point, they're going to renovate your apartment. And you can't be in your apartment for them to renovate your apartment. So, don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, you know, I'm going to hold on as long as I can. You know, kitchen's a little small, but otherwise I like this apartment. Lighting is absolute garbage, and the paint makes the lighting even worse. But you know, it's a nice location. My parking spot is the parking spot right outside. I've got a window. You can see. I'm on an outside wall, so I have a window, and I can, you know, look outside. I only share one wall and one ceiling with a neighbor, so outside there is not a building, it's just the parking lot. So this is primo real estate. But I mean, maybe I'd be able to I don't know, temporarily move all my crap into another unit while they renovate this one when they eventually kick my ass out. Because why would they do that? I'm such a good tenant who pays his rent on time. Well, because they're not happy with the sizable amount of money I give them every month. They want more. As Chicago says, so they're going to evict you? At some point, yes. At some point, they are going to say, look, buddy, this is the last unit that's unrenovated. Get out so we can renovate it. They'll probably say, if you want to, you know, go stay in a hotel for a week or something like that, and, you know, store all of your furniture at your own expense, you can move right back in once we're done renovating. And, you know, we're going to charge you $900 more a month for the privilege of having been pushed out while we redone your apartment. But on the bright side, I'd have a washer and dryer. So, Jared asked, am I allowed to work on the apartment? Broadly, no. Like, am I allowed to remodel my kitchen or something? No. Would they care if I, like... Probably the most I can do is, like, replace the toilet itself. Like, if I wanted to buy a new toilet and replace the one that was there, I don't know that they'd really care, but any major construction or appliance replacement, they would frown on. So, so that's not a terribly pleasant thing to have hanging over my head. You know, the sword of Damocles will fall at some point. When's it going to be? Luckily, I'm in a position where I should be able to afford it when it happens, so, you know, that's a good thing. What about painting the walls or adding shelves? I don't know about paint. Shelving, as long as it's freestanding, like the shelving behind me, sure. We are allowed to. There are a couple things where, like, my TV over here is actually mounted to the wall. Uh, I'd have to go back through my leasing agreement and double check, but that was allowed. So there are some things you're allowed to, like, hang, screw into the wall to hang pictures. Like I screwed into the wall in my pantry to mount my the charging dock for my vacuum cleaner. So some minor things we're allowed to do, but we rent here. We don't own the place, so. All right. So anyway, that's gonna happen someday at some point. If they force you to leave, you can mount fake skulls before before you leave. Yeah. The problem is what they charge for the remodeled apartments here is the going rate for one bedroom apartments in San Diego. So it's really not like so essentially I'm just because I've been living here for 7 or 8 years. I have an old model apartment, so I pay like $700 to $900 less than the folks who are in the remodeled units. So I'm just gonna stay here and milk that low price for all it's worth for as long as I can. They're like, hey, we're upping your rent by $100. That sucks, but it's still 600 less than most everyone else. So, all right, let's talk about Ahsoka, the new Star Wars show that finished up this week. I have seen, with the exception of the Star Wars Holiday Special, I have seen all of the live-action Star Wars things. I've seen all of the theatrical films. I've seen all of the Disney Plus live-action shows. And I saw the 2 Ewok movies. Keep in mind, however, that I have not seen the 2 Ewok movies since I was in the single-digit age range. So I don't remember if those movies are good or bad. My memory is, I have fond memories of the first one, which I think they called Caravan of Courage or something. Second one, if I'm remembering right, was Battle for Endor. I think that one was terrible, even by the standards of my 8-year-old self or whatever. But I really don't remember. I haven't seen them in like over 30 years, so keep that in mind when I say Ahsoka is the worst live-action Star Wars thing of all the Star Wars things. And that makes me sad. That's not to say that it's unwatchable. I don't think so. I mean, it's got, lasers and spaceships and some cool alien creatures in it. And that goes a long way with me. So there's fun to be had. There's neat stuff, but I thought overall Ahsoka was bad. The biggest problem I had with it really is it's boring. I felt that I found the show mostly boring. Again, some entertainment sequences. There were some cool ship battles and some fun fight scenes, but overall, just kind of really dull and boring. And as much as I think the prequel trilogy is roundly pretty bad, and as obnoxiously awful as I find Rise of Skywalker, neither of them are boring. Say what you will about the prequels or Rise of Skywalker, but I don't know that anyone would say, "Oh, they're so dull and boring." No, they're pretty high energy. Through all their faults, they've got momentum. I'll give them that. Ahsoka is just plodding and dull. It also does not do a good job explaining to anyone who has not seen the Clone Wars or Rebels show what a lot of things are, what the significance of a lot of things are, or why anyone would care. Though I did find out that some elements are actually new to the show, like the whole Sabine and Ahsoka Jedi Padawan master thing. I figured, oh, okay, this is just another thing that if you had the context of the show under your belt, this would play better. But from what I hear, the whole, Sabine is Ahsoka's Padawan is something that happened entirely off screen between the original shows and this one. So, no, it's just really poor storytelling, poor character detailing, really poor dialogue. The actors, and we've got some great actors here with just phenomenal charisma and screen presence, like Rosario Dawson and Mary Elizabeth Weinstein and Ray Stevenson, who unfortunately passed away recently. And they all look really, really bored because they don't have anything to do. They have a couple action scenes, which are nice, but yeah, for the most part, everyone is just stoic. Sometimes they're mildly bemused or smug, but mostly stoic. And it's really, really, really boring. And that's a big old bummer. Chaos, hello. Early on in the show, they made a big deal about the fact that Sabine has no connection to the Force. She doesn't have Force powers. She's a Mandalorian. She's great at combat and weaponry. She can wield a lightsaber, and she can wield blasters, and she's great at it. She can hold her own against a Sith trainee. Good on her. But she can't Force throw rocks. And there was some interesting dialogue from Ahsoka, where the show seemed to be indicating that there's more to being a Jedi than being able to do fancy Force magic. And I thought, now there's something interesting. There's an interesting element to build a show around. Okay, so Sabine can't do Force stuff, but that doesn't mean she can't be a Jedi, because being a Jedi is more than just being able to control and manipulate the Force. It's bigger than that. Ooh, how interesting. Now, I don't believe for a minute that they're going to actually do anything with that. You know, she'll, when she needs to, she'll reach out and she'll, throw a rock or summon her lightsaber to her. And, yeah, that's exactly what happens. So, show goes, psych! No, you have to use the Force. You're not a Jedi unless you can do Force magic. Oh. Okay. That's fine. It's not as interesting. So, Sabine, when the hour of need popped up, she clenched her butt cheeks real hard and, forced through a rock. Jared says, but it's a fundamental. So a portmanteau of foundational and fundamental. Actually, I kind of like that. I mean, that's a missed opportunity, I think. Especially since it was set up like that. It's like, yeah, I can't use the Force, but I'm still a great Jedi. Being a Jedi is more than just fancy Force magic. No. This lightsaber is your life. That's what Obi-Wan said in, I think, the second prequel movie, Attack of the Clones. It's like, I don't know if Yoda chilled out in his old age once he got to Dagobah, or if he was saying that shit around the time. But it's like, whoa, dude, really? Hmm. Uh, I have no idea who any of these people are, or what they want, or what, why they want it. Like, seriously, Ray Stevenson and his Padawan. What are they trying to do? What is their goal? I mean, Balin, I think his name is. He has these very vague comments about, well, I'm no Jedi, but I'm no Sith either. I don't like the Empire, but I don't like the New Republic either. Sure, dude. Makes sense. They both kind of suck. So, what do you want? Just burn it all down? Is that it? I mean, it seems like you're aiming at something more specific here. Hmm. His little Padawan, what's her deal? I don't know. Where the hell was Balin at the end of the show? What's the significance of the big Lord of the Ring statues? I don't know. You might... Test, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah, it's on the microphone, and test. Wow, it wasn't like the microphone unselected. It just stopped working. The device was still registered. That was weird. I didn't even get that beedly boop. You know, that noise when you unplug a USB component. Huh. I gotta replace the batteries in my microphone. Yeah, no. That's unfortunate. That's been like that for about 2 or 3 minutes. Oh well. Chicago's waving at the monitor, but I didn't notice, yeah. Okay, can I repeat that? Alright, the important thing is that someone gets to Sabine's house and feeds her damn space cat. That's the important thing. I think this is the lesson that we can take from the Ahsoka show. So, yeah, sadly, bad show. Man, the Star Wars live-action shows have been kind of rough. The first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian were pretty good. Third season was okay. Book of Boba Fett was entertaining enough, but narratively didn't work at all. Obi-Wan had some cool ideas, but the execution was bad on about half of them. Andor was genuinely great, and Ahsoka, not good at all. Bummer. But someone feed Sabine Space Cat. Let's see, Sabine was living in Ezra's old place. I'm sure he'll take care of Sabine's... Oh, that's Ezra's old place. Oh, okay. Well, Ezra made it... spoilers, sorry. Ezra made it back, so I'm sure he'll go back to his old haunt and feed the cat. So, happy ending. Alright. What are we doing here? We talked about Ahsoka. Oh, this again. Okay. One of my favorite genres of video on YouTube is folks with an expertise in a particular field playing video games that are relevant to their expertise. So, like, civil engineers or city planners playing SimCity, right? Architects playing Minecraft. I find that stuff kind of fascinating. Even just, reaction stuff to video games or movies, like, parkour or climbing experts taking a look at the climbing mechanics of Lara Croft or Nathan Drake or the Dying Light games with all the parkour in them. I love that kind of stuff. I find that fascinating. Similarly, the Corridor Crew have a weekly show where they get experts in various fields, from animation to film to stunts, to come in and react to clips from various movies and sometimes YouTube shorts, commercials, advertisements, all kinds of cool stuff, and react to them and get an expert opinion on them. And it's neat to see. Well, Corridor Crew is staffed with, I've said this before, not the broiest of tech bros, but I may have to revise that opinion because, oh God, they're getting worse. Corridor Crew, in the last couple of months, has engaged in making an anime using generative AI. Using generative AI to essentially rotoscope the live action elements that they filmed against a green screen. So they're like, we're going to do an anime, and we're going to shoot all of the characters live action, and then just rotoscope over it. Similar to what they did in A Scanner Darkly, or Fire and Ice. And a bunch of other, at least portions of Bakshi's work. But we're going to get a computer to do it, to use generative AI to learn from stolen work that we don't have permission to use, didn't even ask for it, to create an animated style, rather than doing the work ourselves. And they were rightly lambasted for it, for unethical business practices. I mean, even though it's a tech demo, all they ever needed to do was, like, in a real-world situation, you would commission artists to make character sheets to train your AI to automate the rotoscoping to free up your hired artists to do other, better, more important, less tedious crap. But they don't do that, because they don't appear to think of it, because they don't appear to care. And what's also particularly annoying about these guys is they keep acting like they're inventing stuff or they're revolutionizing something. And I think even more annoying is the fact that they genuinely seem proud of what they're doing when their work product is garbage. I mean, it's really genuinely, objectively terrible. It's kind of fun from a tech demo. Yeah, it's cool to use new toys and play around with them and see what fun results you get. That's fine. That's fun. But they're not thinking about the ramifications of what they're doing until a million people tell them about it, and then they go, oh, mea culpa, so sorry. And they still don't seem to realize that their work is genuine garbage. Well, hey, guess what Corridor Crew did this week? If you look, you will find a video called We Try Putting Photoreal Faces in Video Games, where they spend 15 minutes or so using a new program that takes an image, you feed it an image of a face, hopefully one you own the rights to, and not something you just scraped off of Google image search or something. And what this can do is use that single image to overlay that person's face onto a different person. So what they did was they used that for video games. They would grab some actor's face and make Lara Croft look different, or Shepard from Mass Effect, or what's-her-face from Horizon Zero Dawn. What is her name? Aloy? It's Aloy. Oh, Aloy. I think it's Aloy. It's still very on the nose, but So you say, oh well, they're just using a new tool, dude. It's like, hey, here's an interesting little thing. Let's see what would happen if we just put photoreal faces on video game characters. And if you read the title of the video, that seems to be what they're going for, and that's fine. That can be fun. Oh, look what happens when we have Mick Jagger's face on Pac-Man. They don't do that. They totally should have, though. But you see, when I first saw the video, within the first few hours of it being released, it wasn't called "We Try Putting Photoreal Faces in Video Games." No, it was called "We Fixed Faces in Video Games." It's truly stunning that, well, I guess it's not stunning because these guys, how do artists not understand art at all? I mean, I guess most of them are just tech bros or something, but I mean, they're visual effects artists. There's artistry in visual effects. I don't understand how they don't understand artistry in any other field. How they can't conceive of the artistry of anything, of the artistry in any field other than the one they engage with. We fixed faces in video games, they claimed. And the whole video is them going, oh, it's so awesome! And every single goddamn one of their examples made it immeasurably, objectively worse. All of them are worse. The only ones that you could make an argument, say, okay, well, that actually looks better, is the ones that are over a decade old. Like when they tried using that on KOTOR character models. Knights of the Old Republic was what, 2002, 2003 maybe? Somewhere around there. Yeah, it's over 20 years old. When you have a very square face that's barely animated at all with an incredibly low-res texture, pretty much anything you slap on top of it is going to look better. But every single example that they gave smoothed out the entire face, so you lost all the detail in the face, all the freckles, all the pores, all the dirt and scratches and blood, and just made everyone look like they were wearing porcelain masks. In the case of Lara Croft, she looked like she had like some botched facial surgery, like a really bad facelift or something like that. And it destroys the original performance. And they blithely do mention that. Oh, the performance is a bit different. It's like, no, it's gone. You've ruined it. No, this is not viable. You didn't... Also, again, if they would have just taken 20, 30 seconds to say, hey, some neat application that this new technology might have in this particular production pipeline is a character artist can draw a highly detailed master of a character model, and then this technique can train on that and use it to upgrade the base character. Okay, cool. But they don't do that. We fixed faces in video games. They have no understanding of and no respect for artistry in any field other than their own, and it chaps my bum, I tell you what. Now, after a day, they actually changed the video from "We fixed faces in video games" to "We try fixing faces in video games." Then they changed it again to what it's, at least last time I looked, "We try putting photoreal faces in video games." They know they're doing a bad. They know they are. How can you not when a million people keep telling you you're doing a bad? And they keep coming out obviously, they're changing their title cards in the title of the videos, and they do come out with statements and mea culpas and stuff like that. And so they know they're doing it bad, but they keep doing it anyway. And it's really sad to see, honestly. I mean, I wish this crew appeared to have the ability to respect artistry in fields other than visual effects. They seem to have respect for for artistry in stunts, in animation, sometimes, but not for the production of art. It seems it's weird. It's like AI comes in and I don't know why they keep acting like they're revolutionizing or inventing anything. They're not. They're making things worse. Practically, ethically, production-wise. And every professional in every field that they do this shit to keeps coming out and going, yeah, this is garbage. This doesn't work. Again, it's fun to play with new toys and see what neat things they do. I don't begrudge them that. I begrudge their attitude. I begrudge this. We've fixed things. We've revolutionized the industry. No, you haven't, you arrogant dickheads. I mean, it's like putting chocolate and peanut butter together. We've revolutionized snack food. No, you haven't. You ain't done shit. You took two things that already existed and you put them in the same place. I mean, good on you for that if you're the first to think of doing that, which you're not. Tech bros. God damn these people. Just constantly reinventing shit that already exists and calling it their own. We've revolutionized public transit. You've invented a bus again. That's a bus. We've invented private wilderness living. That's a tent. You've invented a tent, you asshole. Don't like modern art? I like some modern art. Most of art is shit. It doesn't matter which medium you're talking about. Most of it's crap. Most songs are bad. Most movies are bad. Most comic books are bad. But the thing is, you don't see most of them. Because the bad ones, they don't get seen. They don't get on TV. They don't get in bookstores. They don't get play on the radio. So most of what we end up hearing is at least the mediocre stuff. Is at least the pretty good stuff. But if you somehow had access to every song or every poem or every book and had the time to actually examine all of them, you go, wow, most of it's garbage. Because a lot of it's written by people who lack talent or people who are currently on their way to developing their talent. But, to answer your question, modern art, some of it I like, some of it I don't. It just depends. I like good art. And I like a lot of what Corridor Crew does. I just... They really seem to need an ad. I don't know if they're just algorithm chasing on YouTube just so they can continue to pay their employees. I mean, that's the kindest I can possibly be. They are beholden to a shitty YouTube algorithm and they have no choice but to do this stupid garbage because otherwise they don't get to pay their staff and eat. Okay, if that's the case, I'm sympathetic to that. I still think you can do better, but I also don't believe that's the case. I don't know, but I don't believe that's the case. Chaos says, I beg to differ. WAP got airplay. WAP's okay. There's it's. I did review WAP a year or two ago, whenever it came out, and my review was. There are some elements I like. Most of it's kind of a dull song. It's repetitive and boring. The soundscape is the musical soundscape is pretty empty. However, the rhythmic patterns of the various verses are plain and uninteresting. Da 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 da. That's almost it for the entire song. Well, that's kind of boring. But the music video is very colorful. From a production design standpoint, it's actually quite a delight to watch. And a lot of the lyrics are very, very clever, and the wordsmithery is pretty damn good in a lot of cases. For example, it's a pretty raunchy song, so I do apologize. But there's a line in it that says, "If you eat my ass, you're a bottom feeder." That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I like that line. That's pretty good. So, but yeah, overall, WAP, I don't think it's that great. But what's interesting is 2 years later, I actually remember the rhythm of the main verses. I remember some of the dialogue. I just watched their new collab, Bongos, a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember a thing about it. Not a damn thing. Can't remember the rhythms, can't remember any of the dialogue. I thought that one was... I talked about this a week or two ago, but I thought that one was actually kind of poor. But yeah, that's not to say that nothing bad ever gets play. Oh yeah, we've got bad movies. Some of the Star Wars movies are bad. But yeah, most of the really bad, completely amateurish crap, most of that never sees the light of day in any... or at least gets platformed to any... wide-reaching extent. Sometimes things slip through, though. There's some garbage that, like, The Room or Birdemic, absolute garbage, and somehow made a lot of money. Just sometimes people just like to rubberneck car crashes, right? Admitted, it sucks. I don't think it sucks. If we're talking about WAP, I just don't think it's very good. I think it's got elements I like, but overall I find it kind of a dull and boring song. But, what are they? Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion seem to be having fun, so, hey, go for it. I saw a movie this week called 13 Women. It's a movie I've from 30s or something like that. It's one I've wanted to watch for a long time. It is one of the earliest example I can think of a movie where a group of friends is picked off one by one by a killer who they all tricked or abused or were mean to in their youth, right? We've seen this a million times in Valentine's Day, or is it called Valentine's Day? What's that slasher film from the 80s? Well, they did a remake too. Is it called My Bloody Valentine, I think. I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's a million... Hell, even the Scream movies are primarily based on this trope where Carrie is kind of that, only it shoots straight to the end. Where you have a group of people who play a prank on one person that sometimes gets them killed, so they come back from the dead to levy their revenge. Or it's like a family member who comes back for revenge. So, yeah, 13 Women is about a sorority of women who mistreated a member of their school because she was half Indian, I think, because they're racist. So, years later, she uses her mind powers, because she's a mentalist, I guess, to kill them all by sending them all false horoscopes that drive them insane and drive them to off themselves in, for the 30s, kind of horrific ways. What I found particularly funny about the movie is, you might listen to my description and say, "Oh, a movie from the 30s that the whole theme is racism is bad, yo. How progressive for the time." And yeah, you love to see it. You know, a racist, or rather a minority woman gets her revenge on a bunch of racist assholes. Great. Would you be surprised if I told you that the movie itself is actually pretty racist? Because it is. It's from the 30s, it's not too surprising, but it is kind of a funny disconnect where you have a white woman, Myrna Loy, who I love. She wonderfully charismatic actor, very, very funny. Does a great job with the whole femme fatale thing. But you have a white actor in brownface talking about how racism is bad, yo. And it's like... Did no one see the disconnect, 80 some years ago? Come on, guys. So overall, also a short movie. It's like, I think it's just short of an hour. I read up on it a little bit. Apparently, it was originally like 75 minutes, and they ended up just chopping a bunch out of it for some reason. Because I came out of the movie going, it's called 13 Women. I came out of the movie going, it's like 7. Where the hell's the rest of them? Apparently, they were all cut out of. They were in the 20 minutes that were cut out of the film. So. Because I looked at because I counted the cast members because it's in the old movies, you'd see all the production credits before the movie started. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 13 women, yes. Some of them aren't even in the movie, so it's an okay film. Definitely fascinating seeing the earliest example I can think of that framework in film, that horror framework being employed in film. So worth a watch. It's only an hour, so I just noticed. I just also noticed a new anime. Well, it's not new. I think it came out last spring or something like that. It's called Too Cute something. Too Cute Crisis, maybe. Let me see if I can find the name real quick. I only watched the first episode. Don't know if I'll watch any more. Too Cute Crisis. Yeah. So here's the premise of the show. Apparently, aliens are going to destroy the Earth because it's stupid, and they're like, you know what? We should probably take a closer look before we vaporize the place. So, Susan, go down to Earth, see if there's anything cool. It probably isn't, but, may as well check. Go down. If there's nothing cool, then we'll vaporize the Earth. Because, that planet sucks, right? So, Susan goes down to Earth, and she's looking around. She's like, nah, this place sucks. Those people, they suck. That tree, that tree really sucks. We call this a way to make this road sucks. And they're like, hey, maybe you should try some. Susan. She's like, yeah? Did you try the local cuisine, Susan? And she's like, do I have to? And they're like, yeah, maybe they've got good eats. Let's check out the local flavor before we vaporize the planet for sucking so hard. And she goes, yeah, okay. Cafe, I recognize that word. So she goes in, and she enters a cat cafe. And she sees the kitties. And she's like, oh my god, they're so cute! We can't vaporize the planet if it's got something this fluffy and adorable on it! That's a funny joke. I don't know how they're going to sustain that joke for 12 episodes, though. Maybe I'll watch episode 2 to see if they do, but where do you go with that? I mean, it seems like what they're doing is kind of framing it as a career woman is shirking her office responsibilities to play with cute kitties. That's relatable. I don't know if that, so it could be just her constantly trying to avoid doing any actual work. I mean, I don't know if there's any tension. Like, she could just report back, nope, there's cute things here, we can't vaporize it. And they'd be like, all right, Susan, thanks. So it doesn't seem like it's going to go in a direction like they're going to vaporize the earth and I have to stop them. Although there is one genuinely great scene where she's walking around the streets of somewhere in Japan at night, and she finds a box with a half-dead kitten in it. And so someone dumped a kitten. So she tracks down the people who dumped the kitten and calls in an aerial military strike. Just fucking vaporizes them. It's great. Well, I mean, it's an anime. It's they survive. They're it's Looney Tunes logic. They're still alive, but that's pretty great. These sons of bitches dumped a kitten. Airstrike. Damn right. So that was pretty good. So a too cute crisis, something like that. Maybe I'll check out a second episode to see if yeah. Funny premise. I don't know if it's strong enough to hold an entire 12 episode show at least. So still kind of funny. All right, that's it for tonight. I'm going to edit my Trails from Zero video and try to have it up tomorrow morning. Give y'all a chance to watch it. It's a final thoughts on Trails from Zero, what I thought of the game in comparison to the Sky series. I'll have that available, unless a power outage happens or something. I'll have that available tomorrow morning so you can watch it before the Sunday stream at noon Pacific Standard Time. And we'll start in on Trails to Azure. So, yeah. Looking forward to it. Hope y'all are as well. And until then, is my mic still working? Yeah, I hope my mic doesn't just mysteriously shut off in the middle of the stream. Because that was weird. Oh well. Alright, that's it for me. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.